We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! All right! Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Quick housekeeping. Do we have another one of these in there by any chance?
What's
I
that?
can borrow?
I don't know. Why?
I just found something, so I'm just trying to focus through it and not have one on for a while until we can grab another one of those and put it on.
What does that mean? You know what? It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Go ahead. There
And are
go.
you stealing
Perfect.
one from the...
Yeah, Robin Peter to pay Paul. Again, we're off to a great start here. I am Josh. Welcome to the Lunch Break Show. Great guest. And I know we said we wouldn't be here on Monday, but things turned out we had a chance to come to you, even if only for a half an hour. We would hate to steal away that time that we could give to you. Deny you the pleasure of us.
That's right. We love you all.
In studio with me is, of course, Zach, Anna, and Matt in the booth.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun topics to talk about. For instance, some ladies went to a concert and had a hair too much fun.
They did.
Yeah,
when does
they
that
did.
not happen?
Yeah.
Bunch of woo gals? Is that the name?
Bunch of woo gals, yeah.
And no, this
Yeah.
was a bunch of hit me B gals. This was what was being said.
Ooh, hit me B?
It's Yeah. Britney B. And what does that mean?
Wow.
So Friday night, in the middle of a torrential rainstorm, we got the bright idea that we found out that the great country star Travis Tritt was playing a concert at Billy Bob's, and tickets were cheap. And so we're like, yeah, let's go watch some Travis Tritt. Just day of, right? Yeah, that exactly. evening. Yeah. Yep. I'm a member of a country club. I'll go. And so we went, got some. If you're unfamiliar with Billy Bob's, the way it's kind of set up is there's a stage, and the first area of seating is kind of at these long tables, where it's sort of like you buy a seat at a long, like a banquet table, basically. Sure. Yeah. And then there's general admission around the outside where you're just standing or you're just in the building. Around the outside. Yeah, around the outside.
Wow,
Where the
guys.
peasants gather.
So Whatever, we you were got it. exactly, yeah, and we're not about that. I'm not about that life. I'm gonna sit down. I'm going to a concert. I'm gonna kick back and enjoy myself. Have a beer or two. That's the age you're at. You're the
Yeah.
Can everybody please sit down at this concert? Well, age. this revolves around a little bit of that etiquette. Okay, So sure. At the table next to us, there was a group. There was a group sitting on one side, and then there was another group sitting on the other side. They were not connected. They did not know each other. And the people on the far side of the table, there was a woman who was, I guess, with her husband, and she had a little bit too much, and she was feeling a little too rowdy. She was TROUBLE, as the song says.
Touche. Good job.
And so she kept like jumping up in the middle of the or not even in the middle of the show, just like at the very start, she kept jumping up and dancing and stuff like that, which is fine, but everybody else was kind of kicked back and enjoying themselves. So there was a lot of, hey, can you please like get out of the way? We can't see this. We can't see the stage.
Yeah.
Like, can you sit down? And she would sit down for a second, then she'd jump back up and start, like kind of trying to get out of the way.
This is like when the concert
it was
started?
Yeah, this was like, during the show.
Good Lord.
So eventually they had enough, and they were like, will you please effing sit down? And she turned around and just started yelling, hit me. Like leaning across the table, like screaming, hit me. And
Josh would clap at
yeah.
that.
And this went on for, I'd say, about 3 songs where they were just going back and forth at each other, like yelling. And eventually security had to come by, and they removed the offending woman who was standing up, and or they asked her to move. And so she moved out to general admission. And then apparently her friend who was sitting in front of them for the rest of the night just sat with her back to the stage, staring at the people who she thought had narked on her friend. So she just sat there staring at them, doing this little number, like this little point. I see you, and just like doing the gagging, like you guys are gross and terrible. The entire night, you paid to go see the show, and you spend the entire night just mean mugging.
Is this
Loves
person
across the
like
table.
a teenager that never grew up inside her?
They were in their 50s easily, and I was like, why did you pay to come to this show if you're just gonna be sour the entire night?
That's happened to me before, not like that exact thing.
Yeah.
But a fight at it's gonna date me a little bit. Like 2001, 2002 at a Strokes concert. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure.
And so I was there with 3 other friends of mine, who, by the way, had all told me like they know karate and different stuff. I have never been trained to fight. Just as a precursor to the
like you knew going in that they knew karate.
Yeah, like we'd all, it had been a thing. Like that's what they did in high school, and they are all like black belts and whatever it was. So we're in this concert, and I'm one of those too. I don't like a lot of like crowds or being like pushed or shoved. I hate that kind of physical interaction.
Not for everybody.
Yeah,
different strokes, different folks.
And at a Strokes concert, it's alternative, fast paced rock. I don't know how, but it's not like a punk or like a heavy thing.
Yeah.
There shouldn't have been a mosh pit going on.
There's no need for a mosh pit at a Stroke show.
Anyway, so I get pushed in the back by this small guy, and I was like, "Hey, dude, come on, don't shove me. Like, if you want to go party over there.
Easy.
Don't shove me. I'm not front row. I'm like midway back." And then he pushed me again. I'm like,
dude.
So I turned around and I said, I'm asking you really nice. Please don't shove me.
Yeah.
And he goes,
like, this is the last time I'm asking you.
And he goes, I've been shoved. I'm being shoved into you. And I was like, well, then you need to move or resist the shove. Those are your two options.
Or turn around like I'm doing now, and tell that person to stop that.
So
yeah,
again, I'm being very cordial at this point in time. Loud concert, I'm just letting him know I don't like to be shoved. Now I told you twice. I don't appreciate being shoved. I'm not that guy.
Even you telling this, I can hear the anger bubbling up. Like,
yeah. Then lo and behold, and this might have been an anger push. Like, you know what? This guy is too much. This guy is whatever it is.
Okay.
He shoves me again, and so after 2 warnings, you're gonna get a shove back. So I push him down to the ground. One good, because again, small guy.
Whoa.
One good shove. He falls down to the ground, and then I see 8 of his friends come out of the crowd. I'm like, oh man. He had this guy was like the fire starter for his friends to like jump into a fight and feel like justified. It's like awesome. I just like walked into this giant fight. So I thought, you know what, my friends are behind me. Let's dance. Let's go.
Sharks versus Jets.
It'll be like 4 on 8, but these guys know karate, so that's awesome.
That's an even fight.
yeah. To me, it was fine. And so I go, okay, fist up, let's go. And as they were like probably 4 or 5 feet out, as they got right to the moment of impact, again, out of nowhere, 2 security guards came, grabbed two guys, took them off. It all kind of dispersed. Not one punch was thrown.
Oh.
I was like, boy, that could not have been a more perfect outcome. I stood there, manned up, didn't like run and hide.
Yeah.
I was ready to fight, and I didn't have to throw one punch. Perfect. Turn around to go, wow, great turnout for my 2 friends who are now 4 rows back in the crowd that was all turned to stare. They were nowhere near me. It was about to be 8 versus 1.
Did they see this going down and retreated?
Yeah, they were like holding their cardigans and like looking around, like
holding their cardigans.
Yeah, and I was like, you jerks. There is an unwritten rule. There's an unwritten rule. If your buddy's in a fight, right, wrong, or indifferent, if he's in a fight, you have to jump in.
You got to get in there.
Yeah. And they did not follow that protocol at all.
Wow. Horrible friends.
Horrible friends.
I've definitely heard of that before. I assume this is just like a man thing. I can't imagine this happens with women, particularly Anna, because I assume you know everything there is to know about women and fighting. Why is that? Because I've had friends in college, that got in a row with a bunch of other guys. Because, like one guy at a party who was their friend, who was the offender, did something wrong and got punched out, and suddenly everybody's in a fight. And it's like, you clearly know your friend is in the wrong. You know your friend did the wrong thing.
Oh, gosh.
But you gotta jump in. I don't know.
So at this concert, I was thinking, because her husband was up there, like she's behind him, kind of seated behind him, and he's got to be hearing all this going down. He doesn't move. He sits stone still, staring at the stage like, I am not getting engaged with this. He had the look of a man who had been through this before and was like, I am not
a coward
doing
then.
this.
That was what he looked like.
Hey,
Yeah.
there's one thing if you see your friends fighting and you jump in and fight. There's a totally different beast when it's your woman. When it's your woman who's like starting a fight, going, I know Matt has my back.
You either go outside and you have a nice candid conversation with her. You text your attorney and be like, I need to draw up some papers. Because what are you doing? What are you doing at that point? You're just tolerating this? Like, if you're not willing to handle it, sir, you're in the wrong place. You stepped into the wrong pool.
Turn around and fight a couple angry women? Like, what? There's
you're gonna find your wife and be like, listen, cool it, or let's go, for God's sake. Like, what are you just gonna be the guy? She gets thrown out. You're like, I'm just gonna keep watching the concert and act like I have nothing to do with this.
Dude, he was not having it. But that place, the nice thing was, once everybody dispersed, that row kind of cleared out, and I had a good view of the stage.
Nice.
It was good.
That's
it was a
important.
good.
Yeah.
Anybody, I'm gonna suggest any country fans. Travis Tritt still has it. He's good.
Tritt.
He's good,
yeah,
man.
He's solid.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in concert. He's on my list of guys I want to see at some
Dude, he's
point.
great.
In time.
He is great.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have this Reddit chain that is blowing up over the rules and regulations that were posted by the bride at her wedding, the rules that she wanted to enforce. Insanity. Insanity. That and more coming up next when we come back on the lunch break.
It's the freak phone, and here's the party freak. Friday freaker, dancing new sensation, grabbing the nation, doing the freak. Call now, 1-900-490-FREAK. Join the party, the fast and easy way to hear what's scamming from New York to LA. Call now, 1-900-490-FREAK. What's happening, what's jamming, party till you drop. Dial and hear the action, what's hot and what's not. Call now, 1-900-490-FREAK. $2 a call.
Is Elvis alive? Judge for yourself by calling the 900 number on your television screen. Hear what could be the incredible Elvis phone call. Listen to the newest and longest recording ever, just released from the original taped conversation purportedly of Elvis recorded about 4 years after the 16th of August, 1977. Call 1-900-909-ELVIS. Call now. Experience what may be the most shocking story of our time.
979 Elvis.
You gonna get to the bottom of that one?
Yeah. My wife is convinced that Elvis, he's probably dead now, but he didn't die when they said he was going to die.
Is that right?
Yeah. She's a believer.
He looked so bad.
He looked so bad.
Yeah.
My goodness.
We all went out last weekend for like a brunch, and this topic did come up.
That's true.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
I was saying, when was I talking about
Yeah,
this? But I guess
exactly.
that's when we were talking about it.
Yeah, when we were talking about it, so new.
I think it was you, Matt, that brought up. I saw like videos of him like weeks before, and he looked like a man who was about to die.
I think I think Megan said that. But yeah, it was clear that he was on his last leg. And I thought, if you're gonna fake your own death, if you're Elvis, are you upset that they faked your death by putting you on the toilet? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, you can't just have me die in bed.
Bruh.
You can't just
what
have
if
me.
that was the rule? Like, hey, you know what? Here's the deal. We're gonna fake your death, but we got to do it in a way that no one's gonna question that you're really dead.
We got to make this so embarrassing.
Yeah, so
Yes.
embarrassing that it would have to be like, well, clearly he didn't approve that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like clearly he would be like, okay, fine.
It
So
worked on me.
awkward. He doesn't want to come back from
Yeah,
the death.
yeah, I'd be like,
Yeah.
just kidding.
like,
I'm
"Woo."
totally fine.
Guys,
Yeah, one of
you.
those kind of situations. So this bride, and we've all heard of bridezillas.
Sure.
In some way, when I was getting married, at the time I was on air with Mix, which was a soccer mom style station, and so we did bits about me being a groomzilla because I helped plan most of the wedding for me and my wife.
Now, how much of a bit was this, or was this true to
I
life?
would say it was like 70% real, maybe even 80% real,
Yeah?
20% fake.
Okay.
I was involved in the flowers. I was involved in the cake. I was involved in the planning. I was involved in the different variations of like the contract negotiations back and forth. I was because again, at that point in time, I got off work at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I had all the time. My wife worked a full-time job somewhere else, so she couldn't go to all these things. So I went, changed the floral arrangement. That's not going to work, Dr. Delphinium. I need this and this and this. Very particular. There's certain things I don't care about. Certain things I'm very particular about. Yeah. So it was a shock to them that I cared at all about those kind of things. So that's why they courted me as Groomzilla. This, on the other hand, is very ridiculous. So she has like these, looks like around like 10 rules that you have to follow if you're going to attend her wedding.
The 10 Commandments, almost.
Yeah, it's rules and regs. Now, some of these I understand. It says, please arrive 15 to 30 minutes before the reception starts.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Fair.
Because what maybe you don't know, or there's certain things that go on, like getting ready for the actual rehearsal. The actual reception or the
ceremony?
That's the one, ceremony. Thank you. For my wedding, my wife and I, she had some family who were late, and so it was like groomsmen, bridesmaid, groomsmen, bridesmaid, groomsmen, bridesmaid. And then right before the very last groomsman bridesmaid was like cousin, aunt, uncle sat down.
All coming to sit down.
Yeah, they all had to like walk down the aisle. It's very awkward. But it's one of those kind of deals. It's important to be early. I'm not sure that 30 minutes early is what you shoot for, but maybe if you shoot for 30, they'll actually be 15.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So do not wear white, cream, or ivory.
Okay.
I understand the premise. It does seem a little bit diva-ish.
A little bit.
Sounds old-fashioned. I mean, people wear black to weddings. I actually wore black to one wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like the dress code. If there's no dress code on the wedding invitation, I can wear any color. I mean, I won't look like.
But that's the deal: is that she's giving you a dress code. Don't wear white, cream, or ivory.
That's all they did. That's my opinion. But okay. All right.
So, did you wear white, cream, or ivory? When you got married?
I haven't been to that many weddings, to be honest. I don't think I ever wore ivory or any of those colors. But okay, I didn't.
Okay. No, I'm saying when you got married, though, were you wearing white, cream, or ivory?
No, I was wearing a dark blue dress.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did.
Just dust off tradition?
Yeah. My wedding was nothing but untraditional, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Says, please do not wear anything but a basic bob or a ponytail for hairstyle. So now she's dictating your hairstyle.
That's weird.
That crosses a line.
Yeah.
Like, I get the ivory thing, but I think the one thing that people always say is, like, you're still the star. Like, it's all eyes on you all day.
Right.
And look, no one realistically is getting their hair done up in some huge elaborate way to go to someone's wedding.
I will say that that's false.
I will say it's not false.
When my wife got married, when my wife got married to me, she was around like people who were like, because I guess they had the same hairstylist, and they were all getting their hair done for the wedding. The makeup artist was doing other people's makeup for the wedding, so people still went all out, like got their hair done, got their makeup done professionally to go to this event.
I mean, maybe
it was like Josh Hart's wedding. The event of the season.
I will say, like, maybe you go to a salon, but again, I don't know if anyone's doing like some elaborate do, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I view going to a wedding as, well, I don't know. It's one of those obligation type things where it's like, I'm sure people like doing it, but I try to go for the minimum, but I guess that's just me.
The next one definitely crossed the line. Do not have full makeup, full face makeup done.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Do not record during that, and I'm fine with that. Don't record during the ceremony.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Do not check it on Facebook. That is fine. Do not talk to the bride at all. What? I'm not sure if that's before or after, but I'm assuming because that is a problem, and these rules were put in place for a reason.
Yeah,
because even at ours, we had to kind of keep my wife kind of secluded off. There's going to be weird uncles and aunts who want to come and talk to you, like hey, because they flew all the way from wherever, and they came here to visit, and I drove up from San Antonio, and I want to shake hands and say, I haven't seen you in 3 years. I want, all those different things happen before the wedding starts.
Yeah.
And so you have to have someone who's like, and that's the deal. They have to have someone who's like a gatekeeper.
True.
Which is what the wedding planner is for. You shouldn't put that in the notes.
Yeah.
You come off as super rude.
Don't talk to me at all.
Yeah.
I hope that it only extends for the before the wedding and not during the reception, because that's what the reception's for.
And this may be my personal favorite, and it's everyone will toast with Remy.
Oh, okay.
No exception. So Remy Martin is the only thing that you can toast with at my wedding.
What is this?
Remy Martin is a type of like a liqueur, I believe, right?
I think so.
Is it a Scotch whiskey?
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's Remy Martin. I think it's a type of alcohol.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what kind it is. I've never really had it, but
I'm hoping that they at least provide that.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
And then lastly, must come in with a gift of $75 or more if you want to be admitted in.
Wait. I
Wow.
was Googling when you said that. What? Repeat that, please.
You must have a gift of $75 or more if you want to be admitted in. I don't know how they check that.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either, because you're supposed to wrap it, right?
Yeah.
Or are they unwrapping this, or do you have to declare what's in it?
You have to wrap
Or bring
it.
the receipt?
Yeah, to prove to you.
Yeah.
There's a guy at the door going, all right, fine.
That's gosh, I don't like that. It's like the pay to
understand
go
it.
to my wedding thing. Yeah.
I understand a portion of it. And here's what I understand is that it cost money to go.
Sure.
Like, we were paying price per head, so you're getting a steak dinner or whatever it is. But at some point in time, you just eat that cost.
Right.
Like, you're going, I'm having an event. I want my friends and family to be there to see this event. If no one brings anything, I'm fine with it. What I really care about is sharing this moment with the people that I care about. This does not seem to be her wish.
No, it's like, anything on top of that is a bonus. And you hope that at some point the family is helping pay or something. Like you're finding you're not having to eat that entire cost. But yeah, the social contract suggests that you bring a gift, so I would assume most people would, but having a mandatory minimum price, I think is again, it's like the pay what was it, $1,500 to come to my wedding?
Oh my God,
that's
$75, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the other person,
Yeah.
to charge,
Charge per head,
Yes.
just to go.
So
and I
side
don't even know.
note, Remy Martin is actually cognac.
there you
Cognac.
go.
I knew it was something. I didn't know it was a liqueur. Anyway, and then they had the last one. This isn't the last one. This one, so it got posted to Reddit as is, and of course all the Predators went crazy on it. Someone said you should bring 7,350 pennies. Like, they started going through all this different stuff.
Sure.
Just the things that you could do to have fun with the gifts. Again, it's one of those deals. I understand to some degree, but at some point in time, you have to kind of handle those things as they come, and not try to put it all as a one, because that comes off as being super rude and super tacky. If I got that in my request, we just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care how close we are. I'm like, dude, you've lost it.
There was a wedding that we were supposed to go to recently. This was maybe a year ago, and the requirements they were not that strict, but the requirements were it was like formal black tie only. So I would have had to rent a tux just to go.
Oh.
And then it was, I think, in mid-afternoon, and they weren't serving anything. So there was it was like hors d'oeuvres.
Mid-afternoon?
Yeah, and they weren't serving, there was no lunch, there was no dinner, there was nothing, there was absolutely no benefit for me to go, and I had to pay to get a tux, and I was going to have to get a gift. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And we didn't end up going to that one. Yeah. That's the most that I've seen is, that.
Yeah. I guess it kind of also boils down to, people have expectations, but at the same time, you do not know people's personal circumstances. Sure. So you may expect them to be able to come and, if you have 4 weddings the same year, you may not be able to make it all, or it may be a bit of a stretch, or you don't own a tuxedo.
Right. And I wasn't mad at them. I wasn't like, how dare they? I mean, maybe I thought that a little bit, like, that's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I was like, we just don't have to go to this. If that's what they want, if they want a purely formal wedding for the look of it or whatever, then they're welcome to that. I just don't have to I don't have to be a part of it, and that's ultimately what we ended up doing. Because yeah, it would have cost, gosh, just renting a tux. I don't even remember the last time I rented a tux, but it's a few $100s.
Probably.
Even the cheapest, you're still talking about over 100. So
Wow.
Yeah, and that's again that goes back to like I understand the midday, like we almost did a brunch wedding.
Yeah,
because just the cost is so much cheaper, and so having like an 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock brunch, again have like brunch style, like an omelet buffet.
yeah.
Keeping it more casual, and that's kind of what I originally wanted to do. But her dad was like, "No, it needs to be an evening, nice, formal event." So we changed for that.
I'm gonna shock you with this, with a standard Portuguese wedding. If you are religious, you have a
Church?
mass, and you go to church for like an hour at least. So this is like 10:30 in the morning, and then 11ish, 12 you're done. Then you go to the place and you have you mingle and stuff, and then you have lunch at like between like 1 and 2 until probably 3, and then you munch on something at like around 5, and then you have dinner again.
Wow.
Yeah, and
It was
so
an all day thing.
Oh yeah, this is not over. So you have dinner around like 8ish, and then party goes on until like 4 a.m. or 6.
I could not do that. I can't hang.
It's
I can't
insane.
hang with that crowd.
It's like a whole day of commitment. It's insane.
Yeah.
I just saw the headline that you posted, Matt, about the Six Flags. We're going to change topics here
Ooh,
for a
yeah.
second.
Yeah.
Six Flags was doing a deal where if you can spend 30 hours
30 hours.
in a casket.
Oh, 30. I thought it was 3.
No, 30.
30 hours in a casket. They give you $300 and a packet that includes some season tickets.
Yeah. So
valued
you're-
at $60.
Right. So you're looking at less than $400 of return for spending 30 hours in a 2x7 coffin.
How do you do your basics?
I don't know. I assume
That is the most polite way of saying go to the bathroom I've ever heard in my. Because I
And
almost was like,
eat.
do your basics. What are your basics? I imagine they let you out to go to the bathroom and that kind of stuff and to eat, and you go right back in. But to me, like
Then it's not legit.
the first 8 hours is set because that's just me getting caught up on sleep.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah, I don't know.
Can you bring anything in there with you? Can you bring your phone in there?
Probably
Or
not,
something?
right? I mean, Matt, I'm sorry, but how will a phone manage to survive 30 hours? Mine doesn't even
Oh, no,
survive
yeah,
like 8.
it'll die.
If you have a Samsung, it wouldn't be a problem at all. So
Oh, boy.
Product placement.
Yeah, I get the premise. I think 30 hours could be done pretty easily. That's probably why they lowered it. If they made it like worth like 3,000 or get whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think that everybody would be okay. Sure, done.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not. Again, it's like the KFC thing. The name your kid after the Colonel, where they make it just low enough to where not
Yeah.
everybody's gonna want to do this thing.
Of course, like it's still a
It's
hassle.
not worth it. It's not worth it to me to spend more than a day inside of a coffin just for some season passes.
My goodness.
And then also in the headlines, we're going through, and again, I don't know how you guys feel about Bruno Mars, whether you love him, whether you hate him. To me, I'm kind of indifferent. He's a good
He's an
artist.
entertainer.
My son, who's 16 months old, loves the 24 Karat song that one that he knew one that he
I'd say
has.
that's probably his demographic.
Yeah. But this is not the reaction that I think Bruno would be going for.
No.
When a man pulls a gun out and pistol whips his friend over 50 years over a Bruno Mars song. That is not the reaction you would want. I'm going through it trying to find the song.
So I think they were arguing over who sang a particular song. One gentleman said it was Bruno Mars. The other one disagreed. They looked it up. It was indeed Bruno Mars, and the fight escalated from there until one of them's pulling a gun on the other one.
Yeah.
And they're pistol whipping each other.
First off, this is going to be weird. I've never pistol whipped anyone. How does that work?
Or you just hit him with the gun, I guess.
But do you hold it like you would normally hold a gun and like hit him like that, or do you? I've seen it in movies where they grab the gun like this, and there's nothing on the trigger.
Yeah.
And then you're using it as like a blunt object to hit him upside the head.
I guess you could do it in a number of different ways. The gun did go off whenever they did this.
Right, I mean, like, of course, from probably the ricochet action or something.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. That's so dumb. I'm sorry. It's just like, it's kind of like two big boys fighting over something.
Yeah.
Men fight over dumb stuff, Anna, all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been in arguments that have escalated from the dumbest things, but then it becomes, well, you calling the other person names, and now you're mad about something completely different. Like, you're not mad about the Bruno Mars. I know it's funny that it started from a Bruno Mars song, but I'm sure somebody said something at one point, and then the fight just became about that.
Yeah.
May I just say, I have never witnessed that ever in my life. I've never witnessed two friends or two men fighting over something very dumb.
And okay, I'll say I've never seen anyone get pistol whipped, but I have been involved with two guys that led to tears, led to a crying, angry fight.
Really?
With one guy storming out, saying, "I'll never talk to you again. I'm leaving." I was not involved in the fight. I was just there to witness the fight.
How did it start?
It started because, they were drinking, obviously.
Sure.
And they were pretty deep into the alcohol. And someone brought up, they were like telling a story about like hardships in their life. And then another guy goes, "Oh man, but I experienced this." And then they got into like a kind of who had it worse growing up. We all went to the same high school. We all like had, ups and downs, different things. And it led to a crying, like one of my friends crying, "You'll never know what it was like." And I got like really into it. "I'm out of here. Forget all of you." Like it was like an all-encompassing, "I'm done. I'm out of here. Hit the brakes." He was too drunk to drive. We were trying to hold him back. "Get off of me!" And like a fisticuffs. So again, I just sat there the entire time going, "I'm just gonna watch. I'm just gonna sit back and observe the show." It was just too. It was because we were all out of college. This was not like college age. This was probably 25, 26. It was way
old
too
enough to know better.
Yeah, but still too young to care.
So
it was
sad.
It was so sad. He didn't drive off. We took his keys and he just slept in the car. Then that next night, the next morning, got up a little awkward, but they were fine. No one talked about it. Just had breakfast, went out, had breakfast, and then into the day.
So I'll tell a story about a friend of mine real quick before. I guess we have to probably go pretty soon.
Yeah.
We used to, in Springtown, you didn't have a whole lot to do, so you would just drive around the back roads a lot, and in the middle of the night, you just go out on the dirt roads and do, spin out and stuff like that. So we were driving around one of these dirt roads, and it was kind of going towards there were three of us, and one of them had dated a girl who lived at the end of this road that we were going, and this was like a couple of miles away, but we were headed that direction, right? And he was like, "Hey, let's not." Or I think we said, "Hey, we're gonna go to so and so's house," because we all knew her. Like, "Yeah, we're just gonna go to so and so's house," and he was like, "No, don't do that." And we're like, "Yeah." We knew it was bothering him, so we
of course
we're just saying like, "Oh yeah, it's not gonna be a big deal. You can just hang out. We're just gonna go hang out for a little while." And he was like, no, don't do that. Seriously. I'm like, don't worry about it, dude. Get over it. And he eventually started screaming and crying and made us pull over so he could get out of the truck and stand on the side of the road. He was like, "I will walk home." And he had to have lived like 5 miles away. He was like, I'm walking home. I'm screaming in the ditch like I am leaving. And we're like, dude, we were never ever going to go to her house.
Poor soul.
That's just how guys act, though.
He must have been a broken man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. You don't act that way if you're fine.
Yeah, no.
I just gotta add, Josh, that story you're telling about the two guys.
Yeah.
The only thing I can compare from like whose upbringing was the hardest was two Portuguese ladies on the bus stop telling each other how rough their brought up was. "Oh yeah, because I was so poor that we had to sleep on like these hay mattresses," and the other one, "Well, at least you had hay mattresses. I slept on the floor."
Yeah.
And then like, "Oh, I only ate soup and bread. No, I had a water from the previous soup that was boiled."
Yeah.
I didn't have a spoon.
That's exactly what I had in my mind.
That is always the best comeback when someone talks about how hard. "Oh, at least you had hay."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the best. I'm like, what are you in the Ritz over there on a hay mattress? Good for you guys. Living fast.
I didn't see hay until I moved out when I was 18.
Yeah. We have one more quick one that I want to get to before we take a break. And before we wrap up the show, and that is the one that you found as well, that a guy fakes his own kidnapping so he can go drinking with his friends. It's a good bit. The problem is you don't think about the ending. You think about the immediate. That is a very short-sighted person who fakes a kidnapping.
Did this happen in England?
It happened. Where was it? Yep, in Blackpool. Yep.
Oh my God, I knew it. This is not that weird.
Not
People
uncommon.
Do this. One time, these groom to be whatever disappeared because he went on a stag do and they ended up like somewhere in Spain. They somehow got him drunk to the airport. Somehow flew out of the UK and ended up in this random place in Spain. I'm sorry I hijacked the conversation,
No.
but this is the normal thing that happens in bachelor parties.
Well, and this guy's not like 23, 24. He's 45 years old. He's a 45-year-old man who made several panicked phone calls to his wife saying, I've been kidnapped, I've been taken, help me, they're running a ransom. Like, what is the ultimate payoff for this? You have to like just all of a sudden be like found on the side of the road.
Like I'm fine.
And then like make up an excuse.
Not going to press charges.
Yeah. I just wanted to get this behind me. Sir, you seem very hungover. No. That's what they were injecting me with alcohol the entire time. That was the only water I had. So yeah, I
What
don't
a desperate maneuver, though. If that's all you want to do is just get out of the house and go drink.
Here's a pro tip. If you have to pretend to be kidnapped to get away from your wife, it may be time to file for divorce.
Yeah, that may be time to let that one go.
That may be a telltale sign that you're in a bad marriage.
I have nothing to say. This is so crazy.
Yeah, it's so sad. The closest I've ever come to this was I had a friend who had he told his wife he didn't drink. He only drank when he came and hung out with us.
So he had to hide it.
He had to hide it. And again, that sounds dumb. Like if you're gonna have to lie to your wife, just either tell her, "Hey, I'm doing this," and get over it, or just don't do it. Like, there's no point in lying to your wife because it always comes back to bite you in the end. And so we would be at a bar, and the phone would ring, and it would be her, and he would go, "Guys, quiet down." Quiet. And he would be so drunk. But I don't know if it was like the fear or the adrenaline would kick in.
Just instant.
Man, he could be like the sloppiest guy in the world. And then, hello, dear. Oh, yes. I'm just out with the guys. They're having a tough time. Oh, no, I'm staying stone cold sober. I am the DD tonight.
So she would know that he was at a bar. Because I was like, how are you going to get an entire bar to shut up?
She would know that he was going as the moral support for his friends.
The good friend.
As a good friend to be their DD, he's having water and Pepsi. A saint, yeah. So none of the beers could be put on his card. He'd pay you back in cash. It was just so like the level you have to go to enjoy a beer does not make it enjoyable to me. Like I would have to okay, if I have this beer now, it can't go on my card, so I'll take your soda and your appetizer. You pay for my. Just like, oh, good God Almighty! But I was super impressed at because she would call, and it was strategic, like around 11 o'clock. Yeah. So it wasn't like it wasn't like, hey, we're gonna go out at 8 o'clock. It was like at the 11 or 12 o'clock hour of like,
you've already got one in.
I want to test you. Yeah. And he could lock it up in a second.
Wow.
Are you sure, or were you too drunk?
I wasn't too drunk, but he would because he never got a chance to drink. So when he was going out, he was tying it on. He was making sure to get all of that quarter of drinking, those 3 months of drinking into one night. So yeah,
Zach, you've been pretty silent this entire conversation.
Yeah. I feel like you weren't even here.
I was just taking a big drink of water. I'm sorry.
He's super dehydrated.
Yeah, real thirsty in here.
But yeah, so that again, that's about as close as I can of the guy that I know that would lie to his spouse to get by with something.
Yeah.
Just it never pays off. So again, pro tip: if you're having to lie about something stupid like having a beer, or if you're having to fake being kidnapped so that you can go hang out with your friends,
please don't do that.
It may be time to, in fact, find another life partner.
Yeah, if you can't be honest, what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point?
And there you go. That is our lunch break show. Thanks for tuning in. I am Josh, Zach, and Matt. We'll be back on Friday right here. I think Matt will be gone.
I'll be gone.
But the three of us
will be on Monday as well. Sorry, guys.
We'll hold the fort down while you're away. That is the lunch break show.
This whole place is going to fall apart.
Have a great rest of your week.